You got it out? Oh. That's still got a little residual, but you know what? It's less intense.
Pero no, es a la polea. Pero es unos niños que estoy hablando.
Now, if they help you, you come out and get.
All right, hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome here to Keystone Point, our weekly Thursday evening auction. My name is Ron. If you have any issues during the sale, let us know and we'll do what we can to get you back on track. Do keep in mind everything we auction is sold on lien sale paperwork, unless we say otherwise, in which case you may be entitled to a financial county title. Cars that come in with keys, we do not charge for those, but if we happen to make a key that already started the vehicle, why that key charge should be printed on your list, and I'll do my best to remind you what that is. Because we will have that on to your purchase price, all right? The only other add-ons to get here is that 10% parking tax that goes back to the city of LA along with the platform fee. Okay? Do keep in mind, we sell everything that says this condition, exactly the way you got pulled into the auto. There are no guarantees, warranties of any kind, neither expressed nor implied. As to the make, the model year, the color, anything else. So what you see is what you get. That's why we have inspection time for you to come in, look at the cars, and to make an informed decision as to what you wish to pay. All right. Just a heads up, guys, we have a lot of cars here today. We have 81 cars, so be patient, okay? It's probably highly unlikely if you don't have one that's at the very end where it's easy to get out. You may have to come back here tomorrow morning to release your car, okay? All right, as far as payment goes, we will take your cash. We will take MasterCard, Visa, and debit cards, as long as those cards are your name, but ready to bid. All right, that's the only caveat for now. All right, let's see here. I think we're good to go with everything going out the door, okay? Hey guys, if you want a chair, there's some chairs up against the wall over there. Just be careful that you won't either don't hit anybody in the head, okay? Thank you. Guys, we still got chairs over there. If you want to grab a chair, grab a seat, sit down. All right? All right, guys, I wish you the best of luck. I think I covered the views in the building.
Make sure he announces that we might not release vehicles due to all the.
We already did, but I'll tell them again.
All right.
Just run one more time. We might not be able to release it.
All right, we'll remind you again, guys, we may not be able to get your car out tonight because it's jammed up back there, okay? So be patient, we'll get mad, angry, or anything like that, just come back tomorrow and we'll release your car for you, okay? All right. Last call for chairs, you still have chairs over there. Help yourself. Okay, we're good, all right, here we go. Wish you the best of luck, guys, and let's see here, we have number one, here we have a 2011 Chevy Equinox. Other than that, hey, we got your title for it here, guys, you'll scratch the front here, but even better. I got 4.5 pounds, you gotta go 500 where? How about pound, whole 70 pounds, you gotta go 470 pounds, not kidding. I have 4.5% for 70 pounds here in the solar tank. At 450, number 10, 10 number 2, 2018, 70 model. Pretty good, pretty good. No problem. I got no question. Another. All right, so, all right, and then Somebody give me about 3 grand. 3, 44, 44, 45, 6, 7, 8. You want to answer? 8, no 9, no 5 grand, you're gonna get $5,000. I have $1,400, $5,000. How about 5, you're gonna go 5, you're gonna go 5 grand, you're gonna go 5, you're gonna go 5, you're gonna go 5. I got 49 on this side, 5 grand, 51. 51, I got 5 grand in the back. 51, how about 51 to the dollar, 51, 1, 2, 2, 2, 52, 53, hands in the air. I have 52 on the side. How about 53 in the dollar, 53, gonna go 3, gonna go 3, here, 3, 4, 4, 53 on the line. 54, you guys are all off. How about 54, 55, 55 to the dollar, 55 down here, 55, 54, 55, 5 here, 6. Hey, 56, don't forget, you gotta pay right now. 6, 7. How about 57, 56, 7, 7, 7, 8. How about 58, 57, 58 to the left. How about 58 to the number, 800, 800, 700, we're going to summertime. And 5700, number 4 divided. Here's part 3. There's an old 4, that is the 4, mama. Right there, so go around, here it is, somebody give me a number. 9, 3, 4, 3.5, 4. Five and a half, 6. How about 6 and a half, and 7 and a half, and an 8 and a half, and a 9 and a half. I got a half over here, 9's over here, got a 1,000, now half. There you go. How about 1,050? Gonna go 50, 50,000 right here, down to 50, now 11. How about 11, 11, do you give me 11, what do you do? 75, now 11, not 40. How about 42, 11 quarter? How about 11 a quarter? Hey, quarter, half. I got a half. 75, 11.75, 11.75. How about 11.75? First, you're up. 11.75, 12, 12, not quarter. Hey, we're on side at 12. How about 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half? I have 75. How about 75? You're gonna go 75 here, 75. How about 75, 75, 13, 13. How about 13, 13? You're gonna go 13, not quarter. And a quarter, 13 to money. How about 13 and a quarter? Hey, you first, your turn. How about 13 and a quarter down here? We have someone on site at $1,300. $1,300. He's got. Very much. Thank you. Here's four. Here's a 16, 20, 1,675. Go on, 40 get a few touchdowns. Now I've got 2 grand, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5, 6. And now 7. I'm gonna go 7, now 8, now 9, now 3 grand, 31, 32, 32, 35, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 grand, 41. 41, 2, 42, 42. You're gonna get 2, 42, 3, 4. And 44, now 5, $4,500. And 6, $4,600. And now 7, now 8 on site, now 9. But 5 grand, 51, $5,100. I got 2 5 grand, 51. 51, now 2, 3, 53, 53, hit on 52, 53. About 53, now 4, we're gonna go 4, 5, 55, what do you say? About 55 for that, 55, 55, 6, and 7, we're gonna go 7, 57, 56, 7. About 7, we're gonna go 7, we're gonna go 7, 7, 8, 9, 6,000. About 6, we're gonna be 6 grand. About 6 grand, convert, you're up. How about 6,000? 6,000 and we sold to the folks first. 5,900. Fine. Here's 5. Here comes the week. I'm very going to say. I'm not a managed state in the right. I get it. 3, 4. How about 4, 5, 6? How about 600? We're going to go 600. Another 5, 5, 4, 5 and a half. I get 50, 70 plus 6 and a quarter. Not 40, 6 and a quarter. How about 6 and a quarter, 6 and a half, 75, we're going to go 75, 675. How about 675, we're going to go 75, 75, and we sold it. That's 650 to number 6. Here, right? Over here, there it is. We're going to get number now. These are over here, 75, 75. I get 3.5 on side, 75 over now, half and a 5 and a half, and 6 and a half, and 7. and a half, and 8, 8.5, and 9.5, 9.5. I got 9 over here. I'm at 11 quarters, now half, and now 75, and now 1,000, and now 40, and now 25, and now 50. And at 50, and 75, 75, 75. And the 75, thousand 50, 75, 75, 75, here we go, so thanks. 1,050, right, here we go, number 7, there's a 13, 20, go to the piece right there, guys, just a little card, right? I got time to go, you should see, okay, but not 4, not 5, not half, and 5, and a half, and 6, 6, no half. I got a half, no 7. I was 7, no half, no 8, no half, and 9, no here, no half, no pounds and dollars. And I found to go 1,007, and a half over here, 1,000 over here, no half, no 11, and no half, and no 12, and a half, and 13, and a half, and 14, and a half, 15. 15, minus 14 and a half, 15. I got 15. How about 75? Did it go 75? 75? I do. And 75, 15, now half. I got 50 there. 50, I got 50 right over here. 16, 16, now half. I got a 50, 15, get about 15, 16, how about 50? And 50, 50 right there. And 17, now we have 17 is money. 17 and a half. I get you 17, 17 and a half, and we have solar tank at 1,700, and the east is wire, east, 24, so you're pressure fire. Right, quarter of our traffic, here, we go to the center. 5, 3, 4. How about 4, here, 5, now 6, 7, then go 7, 6, 7, 7, now 8 and a half, and 8 and a half, and 9. I got 9 and a half, and 1,000, and 1,000, 1,000 and a half, 11 and a half. 11's on site, 11 and a half. Okay, now 12, now half, and 13 and a half, and a half. I got 13 dead on site, 13 and a half on site, 14, 14. How about 14? We're going 14, now half, 15. How about 15? Keeps it. And now half, 15, how about 15 now, 16? How about 16? We're going to 16 and a half, 17, and we'll go 17 and a half, 18. You want 18? Now half. I got 18 here, guys. 18 now, online, 19. How about 19? 19. Hey, sir, don't wave your card around. You're going to buy something you may not like, all right? I got 2 grand, 20, 50, 21. 21. 21, 20, 50, 21 online, no half. I got a half. I got 21 and a half, 2. How about 22? 2. Now half. I got a half. 22, 15. I got 50, 50, 22, how about 50, 50, 50, not 3. And 3, 22 and a half outside, 23. How about 23? We got 3, 23, 23, we have solar panel. 22, 50 for number, see what it's got there. 134 is my, here we go, here's number 9, here's a 14, Honda Ford, guys. All right, Ford on Honda Bank, straight to the right here, Hoover's up downtown. I got 3 grand, 38, 39. I have 38, 39, are we good? How about 39, 99 here, 9, solar tank. That's 3,800 online. Yeah, it's a 14. All right, Ford on Honda Bank, straight to the right, 1,000. 13, 14, 15, how about 15 and a half, 15, 15 and a half, and 16. How about 16 and a half and 17, we go 17. How about 17 and a half, 18, 18 and a half, and a half, are you ready? 18 and a half, 19 and a half, 19 grand and a half, and a 1. I got 21, 21, 21 and a half, 19 and a half. How about 100, 22, 50, gotta go 50, 50, 22, 53, not 50, not 4, and not 50, gotta go 55, 25, 50, not 6, not 50, and not 50, gotta go 50, 50, why not? How about 26, how about 50, 50, gotta go 50, 50, not 50, not 7, 7, here, and 7, 2 something. How about 27? How about 27, push first, you turn, 27 and a half, take first, you're up. How about 27, 15? How about 27, 15, you're gonna go 15 on the sword. Put the coach first, 2700, move on. Here's number 11, here's 03, here's the next one. Four, go on down, what do you see here, here's the down, go, 5, 3 to 4. I got 3 to go to 3 and a half, 275, and the 400 down in the 4, and the 40. And a quarter and a half, and 75, over 75, $500, and a quarter. And a quarter and a half, and a half, I'm a quarter serious, and a half, and 175, and 35, 600, and a quarter, 6 and a quarter. And a quarter, 6 over here, 6 and a quarter and a half. And a half, wow, I was 6 and a half, okay, now it's 75, now you move up. I'm about 675, I'm about 675, there goes 675, and I'm something on mine, 6 and a half. Here's a number, there's a 97, here, there's a 96 here. All right, here we go. Hey, I've got two record. How about two recorders, here, and two recorders? What do you say? Yeah. Are you ready? No, he's not. So that's $200 problem number 6 to 5. Is it 89? Two on that. I got one over here. I got 3, 4, 5. I got 4 and 5. 5. I got 5 with a half. 5 and a half. No 6. I got a 1 6. No half. No 7. How about 7? You're gonna go 7. No half over here. 8. How about 800? You're gonna go 75. Now we 800. A quarter. And a quarter. You said that 8. Quarter. And now 75. And a 9. And a quarter. And a quarter. And a half. And now a half. Each 9 a quarter. And a half. And a half, 9, 15, you gotta go 50, 50, 50, now, 75, and 1,000, and 1,000 to go, 1,000 to go, 1,000 to go, $1,000. 1,000, not quarter, no half. How about a half, 10 and a quarter, 10 and a half, you're right. How about a count of 50 here, 75, now 11, now a quarter, 11 and a quarter. And a quarter, no half, 11, 75, and 5, 100, and a quarter. And a quarter, 1 and a half, 75, you're gonna go 75. How about 75, now 75, 13, now a quarter, and a quarter, I have 13 over here. How about 13 and a quarter, now half, I got a half, that's 75. How about 75, 14, now quarter, and a quarter and a quarter here, 14 and a quarter, 14 and a half, 14, 75, and 15 and a quarter, and a quarter and a quarter, we're half, that's right, I got a half, 3 halves, 15, 15 and a half. 1,500, 50, 50, and I sold it. 1,500, number 20, number 28. Wow. And I'm 14 card, no 8 model. On the figure. Over 100 minutes, you're around, and you can also. 2 grand, that's even better. 21. I got 21, 21, I got 19 here, 2 grand there, now 1, now 2, now 3, and 3, whatever 3, you 22 outside. 23, are you there? 23, 2 and a half, okay, now 3, now half. How about a half? I got 23 here, 2,350. 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, you're gonna 50, now 4, 4, here, 4, keep first consent. 24 on site, now half, now 5. And 5, we're gonna go 5 there, now half. Now what a half? I do 25 there, 25, 50 over here, now 26. How about 26, now half, are you ready? Don't move your butter on, I got a half, now 7. I got 26 and a half here. 27? How about 27? You're gonna go 7, 7, 0, 7, no, 0, 7 and a half. I got a hundred here, you're 27, 58. How about 8? How about 28 dollars? You have 28? How about 28 down here, now we sold it up there for 27, 50, yes sir, 27, 51, 30, 134, that's right, 134 divided, thank you. Right, number 15, that's 134, huge. How about 5, pound about 3, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half. I got 354 in the quarter in the hand, 75 the pound, but a hand, now 6, now half, and 7, number 7, number 7, now half, number half, now 8, 800 here, 8, now half, 8, and the quarter, 8 right here, 8 and a quarter, now half, and a half, 8 and a quarter here on the side. How about 850, 850, 850, 850, now short over here. At 8:25, 8:25, and 63, 65, 8:25, he's going to Okay, here we go. Here's 16, sorry, we only straight of the wrong thousand. Four, five. I got a half and a pound, 100 and a pound, where 50, 50 pounds over here. How about 5 and a half? 5 and a quarter, two, we'll call that. Now 5 and a half, 75, 6. Now a quarter, and a quarter, 6 up here. Quarter, half, 6, 75, now 7. How about 7? 1 is 6 and 7, 7, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, 7, a quarter, and a half. And a half, okay, that's 75, and now we 800, now we guys, how about we hit numbers, 800, now we hit 800, 800, and now overtime. 775, on, 17, 20, 13. That's a good. How are you doing? How about 5? How about 3? 6 and a half, 7. I got 75, 7, and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and 8, and a half, and 9, and a half, and 1,000, and a half, and 11, 11, 11 and a half, 11 and a half, 11's over here. How about 11, 50 in the back? Now 12, and a half, and a half, 13, that'll be 13, 13, and it's 12 and a half. How about 13, 13, 75, 75, now 13 cents, and now a quarter, and now a half. And now 75, I'm gonna go 1375, he's 13 and a half. How about 1375, I'm gonna go 75, 75, 14 and a quarter and a half. Not a half, but back on site, 14 and a quarter, 14, 15. And a 15, 50, 50, 50, 50, and now 75, I'm gonna go 75, 75, now 15. How about 15, 2 first, you're up. How about 15? Wrong side, 1475, and 15, I'm gonna go 15 and a half. And a half, 15 and a half, 16. How about 16, 90? How about 16? You're gonna be 16, 2 first, you're up. How about 16? You're gonna be 16, no, so we one side. At 15, 50, so what's your number like? 98 or 18, that's it. And I'm done. See, it's right. How about I'm gonna go 4 5. I got a half, no 5. I got 75, and a pound and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and a 6, and a quarter, and a half. 75, and a 7, and a quarter. And a quarter here, you got 7, and a quarter and a half, and 75. How about 75 each, $800 and a quarter, and a quarter. And Charles people, no, how about how the quarters here, 850, how about 850, 50, 850, 850, 50, 50 down here, and I set on site at 825, 825. What's your number there? Number 70, is the following here, 15 cars. What do you do now? How about $90? Great, take it apart. How about take it apart now? Half. I got a half here, 75, and 4. How about 4? You're gonna get 4 and a quarter. And a quarter, and a quarter, and a half, over 50. How about 50? 4 and a quarter here, you need a half outside, no 75. How about 75? 4, 75, 5. I can do. How about 5 and a quarter? Now 5 and a quarter. And a quarter pounds over here, 5 over here, 5 and a half. How about a half? 5, 50. And at 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, and 75, you're gonna go 75, minus 5 and a half, 75, 6, not quarter, and a quarter, on the side at 6. How about 6 and a quarter, okay, go on, 75. How about 75, you're gonna go 675, 675. How about 75? Come on, guys. Now 7, now quarter. How about 7 1/4? 7's over here, 7 1/4. How about 7 1/4 and a quarter and a quarter down here? And here we have solar tank. That's 700, but I'm on number 8 here. Down the car. Right? We're going to run it. Should we run it? And here we go. How about 5? How about 5? You said 3. 3 1/4.
Got 3.5.
I got 3.5, 4. That's 4. That's 4. 75, 4. How about 4? 175. You're gonna get $400 $400, $400, and we have solar tank. 375, number 60 is about here. Only 4. Right? 4. We're gonna run 3. One time. I got 4 go. 3. 1, 3. I got 4 1/4 half. I got a half, 75. How about 75? These 4.5. Are you ready? 75, 5. Down quarter, down half. How about half? Down half. Down 75, 6. I got 6, 1/4, 6.5. Are you ready? 6.5, 75. Now 7. How about 7, 6, 75. 7 here, down a quarter. Down a quarter, down a half. How about a half? 7.50. 7 1/4 right here. How about 7.50? You're gonna go 50, 50, and 50, and we have solar tank for 7 1/4. What's the number? 199, 199, right? This is gonna be 12, I'm gonna say. All right. Good title car, too, 4 more, 100, it's gonna be 5,000. How about time to go on that one? Who got time to the left? 5, 6, 7, 7, 75, 7. How about 7, 6, 75, we're gonna go 7 to the whole car, 7, not quarter, not half, and a half, 75, and 8. 800, not quarter, 0, 825, you say what 8. How about here, quarter, 75, 8, 75, 9. How about 9? I do that over here. 8, 75, 9, we're gonna go down, we're gonna go 900, how about 9, we're gonna go 9, we have 9 1/4. 9 1/4, so that was a big first. Just jump in.
Quarter.
9 1/4 half. How about half? 9 1/4, 9.5. How about 15? We're gonna go 50, 50, no 50, 50, in the solar tank. 925, well, 9, you go with number 53, just a family there. Two nice economy cars, 3, 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5, and a half. I got 5 1/4 half, 75, 6 1/4. 9 1/4, 6 here, 6 1/4. 5 1/4, no, 6 1/4, 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 6 1/4, 50. How about 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, so good time, 6, 25, 24, 7, 4 on the bench, take it around, Thomas. I'm gonna go, beware. How about 5, 3, 3.5. I got a half here, you got a half on the 5, you gotta go 5, you gotta go 5, 75. How about 5? Money's going to 75, take 5. How about 5 down for it? And if we're on outside, how about 5 1/4 for it? You know how, you gotta have 75. How about 75? You gotta go 5, 75, 600 and a quarter. And then quarter, and that will be here, 6 1/4, even now, high, 6.5, 75. How about 75? You're gonna go 675. How about 675? I've been saying 700, 1 1/4. 700, 7 1/4. How about 7 1/4? How about 7 1/4 and a quarter down here, solar tank. 700, number 4 is 5, is it? 15, each on push up. 4 on the change, to the around, 30 bucks a piece. I got down to go. I found 11. I got 11, 12. Yes, sir. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2 grand. 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25, 25, 26. How about 26? Gonna go 6, I have 26, 27, 27, 28. How about 28? 28, 27 back, 28, and a half, no 8, and not 8, no half, and a half, 20 gets on set. How about 20, gonna go 15, gonna go 50, 15, no 15, no 15, no 15, no 9, 9, 29, no half. Got a high, 29 on site, yes I do. I'm at 49, 50, and the 50, go to the 50, 50, and the 50, and I have, so for 2,900, 29, and about 20, number good. Number 130, 131, she's gonna come. 2013, on the four season, guys, okay? Four on how to manage, they're gonna run here, so I'm gonna give you 9. Number 5. Number 5, go down to 5, 3, I got 6, 6.5, 7.5. I got a hundred, no, 8.5, I'm going to here, 8.5, no, 9, I'm gonna go down over to 8, we got 9, and a quarter, half, 75,000. I'm gonna have 75, 1100, and a quarter. And a quarter, and a quarter, go here, then a quarter. I'm gonna let it quarter, go here, we have quarter half.
You got a quarter?
I have a quarter here in the corner. I got a half on mine, now 75, now 12. Number 12, these are 1175, I need 12. 12, 12 and a half. I'm at 12 and a half, over the quarter over here, and a half up here, now 75, and 13. I'm at 13, we're gonna go 13. I got 13 in my quarter, now half. I'm a half, 13 and a quarter, 13 and a half. How about, I do, okay? How about 13, how about 15, 15 on Sunday, how about 14, 14 and a quarter. I got 14 and a quarter and a half, now 75. How about 75, we're gonna go 75. How about 75, come on, complete, yeah. 14 and 75, and we still in on site. For 14, 50, 14, 50, we'll get, remember, so what's the number there? Number 39, okay, 39, and we're okay? Right, guys? Sir, I need you to come up, okay? Thank you, sir. All right, here's number 27, 2012. Here we got the smart card. All right, children, how to manage. I don't know if you're smart, the phone notification on, but anyways, there it is. I have to go put 4, 5. I got found it on the part, we're gonna go find the quarters. How about 4 and a quarter, and a quarter, quarter, and here we sold the tank. $400 into 60. All right, wow. All right, thank you very much, much in there. Number 28, 2017. There we go. We got it there as well. There we go. See that? I think that's pretty good stuff. Wonderful. What you need?
You want tape?
No, I'm just fishing. 69, 71, 71, 71. Now we want 10, 72, 73, 74. How about 75, 76, 77, 58 grand each. 80 grand right here, 81, $81, 82, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 87, 88, 89, 89, 9 grand, we're gonna go 9, we're gonna go 9, 9 grand, 95, 95, 10,000. Yes, sir. What do you mean, no? Oh, pull it? All right, it's on short lead paperwork, guys, so I guess we're gonna have to pull that one out. And it will come back in the future on long lead paperwork, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, fine. All right, turn the page. We got 29 card next, okay? Yeah, let's see. I thought you were gonna bid, bro.
No.
Okay, there we go. Here's number. We got it. I can't sell it. I told you already. I can't sell it tonight. It's on short lead paperwork. It's gotta come back on long lead paperwork, okay?
We're on 29, correct?
We are on 29 cards. That's next. Okay. There it is, look at that. That's 2013, Hyundai Santa Fe, $4 managed, to go around here, somebody give me one, how much that? How about down to 8, 8.5, 9, gotta go down, now high, down to half. I got a hand here, down there. How about 11, where you gonna go 1100, I got 2.5 on 5. I got 75, now there, here we go. How about 11, what's it? How about 11, 10, 75, down to 11, not going to go to the quarter. How about let the folder read it for you guys? How about let the folder here, do the solar tank? How about 1100, here's number 30, here comes number 2, down, and tear it down. Right, 400 minutes, so they're around here, we're gonna see in that one. We go, It is. Here then. We said, regular quarter. I got three, I got three quarters. 375, 2%, I'm a four. I'm a four, and a quarter, I got four outside, four and a quarter, and a hundred, four, 15, gonna go 15, and 75, gonna go 75, 475. How about five to nine, 75, right here, and five. How about five to nine, 500, 500, 500, and also, 4, 75. Six to nine, six to nine. All right, guys, 135. Give me, yeah. Okay. Everyone, we'll find if you ever see our events, we're going to find events, so the events, we cycle how much? 1,000? I got time to go, five and a half, six, 75, six. I got six, not quarter. I got six and a quarter, now half. How about half? I'm not seeing it. How about 650, 50, you're gonna go 50, 650, 650, so we're coming for 645, on 32, which is a reading, that's just, all right, 400 each, have it on. All right, again, 490, give me 1,000. How about that? Let's see. All right, give me 1,000 for it. How about five? How about another five? Six. I got six, seven. How about seven, six, seven, give me half. How about six and a half, seven, seven and a half, eight. How about eight and a half? 75, nine, a quarter, no half. How about a half? And now 75,000, and 1,000, and 1,000, here's Alexis card. How about time to go, 1 time to go, we have silver tank. 975. All right, that was it. That was 33. On a two, automatic set up, this one here, it's contract patterns, and it was 100. She said, I'll take that one forward. I got to play the folder, and I'm going to hold me no honey, maybe 50. And I'm 50, you're going to go 50, 50, you see, hitting, 3.5, 350, 50, no, 75. How about 75? I got 3.5 outside, 75 here, need four. How about four? We're gonna just go ahead, it's your turn. What? How about four? We're gonna go forward here, so we're counting three, 75, number 6, 34. Here's a Nissan 240. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 50. Yes. What you see? Yeah. All right, fine, guys, how much would it be? Two and a quarter, half. I got a half, 250, this got it. How about 250 here? You want a half? No, 75. How about 75? Now 300 here and a quarter. So 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half, 375. How about 75? I'm gonna go 75, he's 3 and a half. How about 75? Now 400, 4 and a quarter. And a quarter and a quarter, 4 and 2, 3 and a quarter, 4 and a half, 75, now 5. How about five? You're gonna go 500, good five. How about 500? It's a classic. How about 500, 500, 500, here, here, number 10. 475, the higher than 7, right? And it's number 35. Here we go with the 2013. All right, so we're going on the mound. What do you say, guys? We're much on the time. I got a pound to go where? 5, 6, 7. How about half? 6 and a quarter, 6 and a half. How about a half? 6 and a quarter, 6 and a half. How about 6 out of the 50, 50, 50, now 75, I'm gonna go 75, the 75, 7. How about 7, 6, 75, 7. How about 7, not quarter. How about 2 and a quarter, right here, we say, here, quarter, half, 75. How about 75? How about 75? 800, now a quarter. And a quarter, each on side, quarter here, half quarter, now 75. How about 75, 900 dollars, 900, 75, 9. How about 900, can bring down 875, number is all right, here we have that number 36. That's a favorite car. All right, 490, we got I got 3 for the quarter. I 75 cents, now quarter. And then in the quarter, 625. How about 625? There go 625, 625, sorry, thanks. That's 600. So it's here, so he said, 5, here's the sticker. 400 minutes, so those right, they can give me 8. 3 and a quarter. I got 3 and a quarter, I got a half. This is what I'm not 75. How about 75? How many 75? Four, just four. How about four? 375, 4. How about 200? Enough four here. We sold. Thanks. 375, number 6 is tomorrow. Here, we start. We count the city after that. Right, that's the third going on. That's the I'll pull some racks. How about the how here? How about it over no half? How about a half? Now he's five. How about a half? Quarter, half, 75. How about 75? What about 75? How about a half? 575, is it? How about 575 on line now? Six, now quarter. How about quarter? Six over here. How about 6 and a quarter? 6 and a quarter, no half, no 75. How about 75? I'm gonna go 675, 6.5 here. How about 675, 75, and we over thing. 6.5, number 97, right? Number 5, 24, Nine. How about 5? 5.5, 6. How about 6? I got 5.5, 6. How about 6? No half. How about a half? You 6 outside. 6 and a quarter. 6.5. How about a half? 75. Gotta go 675, 7 and a quarter. And a quarter, no half, 75. How about 75? Now we need 800. Now we need it. And now we need 775. 800. Now we need here, and a quarter. And a quarter. I do 8 right here. How quarter? Now half. Now 75. How about 875? Now 9. There's 9 and a quarter. And a quarter of 950. And now 75. There go 975. Now 1,000. And 1,000. And 1,000. 975 up here in the town to go and town to go and so tank. 975, number 6 is 45. Here's 97, C15. Let me tell you what they want. Well, how about 5? That's it. How about 5 with a bus? 5 with a bus. 5. How about a half 6? How about 6? That's what's up. 6? That's what's up. How about 75? That'll work. 6. How about 6? 5, 75, 8, 6. How about 600? Here we have silver tank. 5, number 6 is 5. Here we want 5. I have 3, 4, extra tank. 400 minutes. We're going to run here. All right, here we go down. Okay, I got 3 and a quarter. He's 3 and a quarter. And a half, 75. How about 75? We're going to go 75, 400 and a quarter. And a quarter down here, 75. How about 75? 500 and a quarter, 25. And a half, how about a half? 75. How about 75? 600 and a quarter. And a quarter wrong side at 6. That's the quarter. How about 6 and a quarter, and a quarter, down here, half, 6 and a half, 75. How about 75? Come 75, 7 and a quarter. Come to all the good stuff in there. 7 and a quarter, half, 75. Now 8. How about 8? 775. We 8. How about 8? Here here, and I have sold them up there for 775. Here's car number 15, 45. All right, so we're going to around here, give you 1,000. Talk about 1,000, 11. How about 11, 10, 13, you did 14, 15, 16, 17. How about 17, 18, 19, 2 grade, 21, 22, now 3, 4, and 5, and 6, 26, 25, 26. How about a half? 25, 15, gonna go 50, 15, 15, 15, 15, now 6, now 15.
You got 6?
I do, on second 26. How about 26, I got 50, 15, right here, and 7, 50. I'm at 50, yes sir, 27, got a half, now 8, 1/2. How about a half again? 40 gets on this side. How about 20, 50, 52 first, 20 and a half, 29, 2 first, 20 and a half, 29, now half. I got 29 on the side, 29, 50, and up 15, we go 50, 50, 20, 15, 15, 15, here we have silver tank for 28, 900, 900, and number here, that's just what you want. Hey, I need your number, what's your phone number? I got a hair appointment, I'm trying to get you, 120. This is about, here you go. And that's not fit. Uh, Not fit very much. This is this. I, 4 give me the six and about 4.5 times. I got a half, a quarter and a half, and a half, I'm a quarter down, we shall do. I got a 5.5, okay, 75. How about 75? How about a half? 575? How about 75? Then so 10. That's 50, number 6. I really had number 44. I was 7. Right? Or out of minutes, I was trying to out, it's giving me 9. I was ready to leave that heaven, to the house. That's 6. You're at 6, 6.25, 6.5. How about a half? So I got a half, 75, 7, and a quarter. And a quarter, you got 7? I got 7. A quarter, and a half. It's 75, and 8, and a quarter. And a quarter. What's the one you see for? Now half, and 75, now 9, now a quarter, and a half. How about a half? What is it? No, 75, okay, now 1,000, and a half, and 11, and a half, and a half, and 12, and a half. 12 and a half, and 13, 13 and a half. I got a half, 13, 50, I got 13 over here. I got a quarter, okay, now half. A half, that's not good. You got a half, that's 75. And 75, and 14, 13, 75, 84. 14, and a quarter, and a quarter, I got 14 outside. 14, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter here, and a silver tank. At $1,400, number 134, right? Here, 25. Everything is started. How much time to go? What time to go? I got 15, 46, 6.5. I got a half and 7, no high, no 800, no high. I got a half and 9, we go 9, 875, 875, right here, no 9. And a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a 50. How about a 50, no 75, $1,000. And a 1,975 over here, get the 1,000 over, $1,000. You got 975? Okay, 1,025, sir. 1,050, no 75, no less. How about less? And a quarter, and a half, no 11 and a half, no 12, and now 12 and a half, and 13. How about 13, no half? I got a half, 14. How about 14? You got the simples. 14, no half. I got a half, 15. 15, he said. How about 13, no half? I got a half, 15, 50. 15, how about 15, no 15, no 15, no 15, no, and now 16, no half. How about a half? We take back at 16. 16 and a half. How about 16, how about 15? Gonna go 50, 15, no 15, and nice on one side. That's 1,600. The total, okay, the wire. It says, there's a 14 TSO. Now, so we say that. This is that. How about a 1,000? I got 3 and a quarter. 6.5? 6.5, let's see the better, no 7. How about 675, 7? How about 7, you go 7, 675, 7, no, 4, how about a half, 76, I got a half, 75, 75, 800, no quarter, and a half, 350, 75, 900, no quarter, no 45, 940. How about 940, no quarter, no high, 950, and 75, gonna go 175, 175. How about 75, and 1,000, and 1,000, how about 1,000, again, a quarter. How about quarter? How about a quarter and a half? How about a half? And 50 now, 75 now, 11, come on, guys. 11, quarter, 11 and a half. How about 11 and a half? Now, 75 and 12. How about 12? We're gonna get 12? How about 200, 400, 400, and we have solar tank. 1175. Okay. All right, here you go, number 47 is an automatic, should be around here. Hey, you can give up on to the top. I got 4, so even better. 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half, and a half, 4 and a half, no 75. How about 75? Now 5, now a quarter, and a half. How about a half? Each time a quarter. How about a half? And a half. Now 75. No 6. How about 600? There goes $600. Now 6. 575 on site. 6. How about 600? 600 and a quarter and a half. How about a half? That's 6. 6 and a quarter here. How about 650? There go 50, 50, 650, 650 now. 75. 675. 6.5 years. 675. 675. 675. 7. How about 7? We're going to go 7 here and 7. All right. How about 7? You're going to lick my hair. How about 7 here? So, okay. 675. Online. Okay. All right. Here we go. There it is. Ready? 20. That was wonderful. Online. And we got Swedish steel. Swedish steel. You want 1,000?
I've got 8.
You'll be surprised. 11. How about 11 here? Give me 11. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. 4 seconds. How about 14, 13, 14, 15, 15, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 18. Here's your going down. You're 17, 18. How about a half? How about 17 and a half? Right here. Now 18 and a half. 19, 19 and a half. And 2 and a half. And 1 and a half. And 2 and a half. I got you guys at 22. 22 and a half. Okay, 3 and a half. Now 4. How about 24? 23 and a half. 24 and a half. 25. How about 25? 25 another. How about 25? I'm going to go 5. I'm going to go 5. 5 now. Half. How about half? Now 6. How about 26? 26. I'm going to do 25 and a half. How about 26? 2600. 600 down here. Okay. 25. 50. What? Oh, the guy. You shoot. No, it's enough. 89, right? Come on up, please. Okay. Hey, you go to the time. I got time to go and time to go there. And you'll get time to go up. 1 5. I got 3, 6 and a half, and 7 and a half. How about a half? You got it? Now 8. Here you got a half. So I got 8, no quarter. And a half. 75. Hey, 75. 9. How about 9? 9, and a quarter, and a half. How about a half? 9 and a quarter is on site. How about 9 and a half? 9 and 50. Okay, then now 75. How about 75? And then 75. 1,000. And down the road, $1,000 down the road, $1,000 in that quarter.
You got 1,000.
I do, 1,000 right here. How about 10 and a quarter? And that quarter here, yes, it is. That's quarter. And a half, 75. How about 75? He's 10 and a half. How about 10 and 75? How about 75? 11. How about 11? What's it? 11. 11 and a quarter. How about quarter? 11's over here. How about 11 and a quarter? How about 11 and a quarter? And a quarter and a quarter down here we have solar panel. For 1,100, 1,100. Number 77. 71. Here's 50. Here comes the 15 to your car car. Next one because we're down, so we're running on the wrong time. I got time to go, time to go. I got 1,000 feet on that. And a half, maybe 11 and a half, and 12, and a half, 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 15 and a half, 16 and a half, 17, 18, 19, 2 grand, 2 grand, 19 here, 2 grand here. I got 2 grand, 21 online, 22, 23, 23, money's over here, 22, 23, 24, and now 25, now 26, 27, 26 here, 27, give me half one, I got a half, now 7, now half, how about half, well, that's on site, 27, how about 27, 15, there's a 50, 50, 50, now 80 here, 28, 27 half here. How about 28? How about 28, 808, now half, half, 28 in the corner, 28, 50. How about 28, 50, 29? How about 29, 28 and a half here, 29? How about 29, we're going to go down, we're the silver, 28, 50, where is he on, okay? That's a Mercedes, okay, $2, years, Thank you, give me $1,000 for the whole car. You want 1,000? Okay, you know it's right, right? I got 1,011. How about
You
the
have
other?
1,000?
I got 5.5, 6. You understand this, Rick, right? You do? Okay. I just want to make sure. 5.5, 6, now half, now 7. How about 7, give me 700, give me 7, 675. 7 and a quarter. Up to the quarter and a half, 7 and a half. How about a half? And that's 75. How about 75? Give me 75 each, 800. And the values, 800, and the quarter, and a quarter. Well, be on site, 825, and a half. How about a half? You get the, what's the second? They have a 58, 25, they have a 50, 50, so the right here, 825, number 655. Here's number 52, here's number 620. Okay. On the camera card, guys, I got 3, 4, 4.
Three and a
I
half.
got 3.5, that's even better. How about 75, 4? How about 4? Usually 75, 4, 9, 4, 9. How about a half? And it's over here, 50, now 75, no 5. How about 5, no 5, no 5, minus 4, 75, 5. 5 here, now a quarter, now a half. How about 5 and a half? How about a quarter, 5 and a half? I got a half, I got 50, I got 50, 50, 50, and now sort of thing. 525, number 70, 708, tomorrow, here's 53. 810, around that. And that way, now we're going to hear. Behind here says, I was says, 75, 6, now 40, now high. I got a hundred, 650, 640, 75, 7, not 40, now high. How about a half? Money's over here, 7 1/4. How about 700, 15, I go 50, 50, 50, 75, 75 each. How about 800, now read, 800, now read, here, these are dollars, 800, and I have.
Seconds, 1, you're getting 775.
Solar tank, 775, 70, right? And 54, maybe here, there's something here. Here. Okay, fine. That's not a tank. It's a pickup. That's what you say. We don't guarantee anything, okay?
Pickup truck.
That's why we say that.
1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. What number is that?
That's number 54. We're gonna pull
That's a
it?
truck. That's a truck, right?
That is a pickup.
That's a pickup truck. She said she's got paperwork for a Nissan Pathfinder. So we're gonna
Okay. We're gonna skip 54, guys, because the paperwork, is mixed up, okay? So we're gonna go to number 55 now. This is the 92. So, 1 second. Take a load off my feet, 1 second.
give you 1 second. That Nissan Pathfinder is, we're not on the ship, correct?
You're on the Camaro car. 92 Camaro, that's it. Okay. All right, let's start with Camaro car, guys. Say it right here now. We'll go down to the number. I got down to about 3.25, 3.5. I got 350 solar claim, 300, number 6 is somewhere. Here we go with number 15.
Number 56,
56. There's a lot. On the court. 800. I'm not thinking about 3.25. I got 3.25 and a half. 375. I'm gonna hold it 5.5. I got 5.5, now 75, and now 600. And now quarter, now half, 650, 75. Up to 75, okay, now 7, now quarter. A quarter, and now a half. How about half? 7 1/4 back row, 750, guys. How about a 50, you go 50, 57, and then a 50, and a 50, and I have solar tank. 7 1/4 on the site here. Number 118 is tomorrow. Here's 57. Right, forward on the bend, and what do you say in that line? Are you gonna give me about 800? They hit a buck, I don't think so. Hey, I got five, I got a quarter, I got a half, 75. How about 75? We gotta go 75, 575, 575, gonna be around 75. At 550, number 65, right? And then the page again here, and the catch number is 8, that's fine. Hey, let's say, that's a listen. Here we go, number 58, 90 mile here. Yeah, zero to 75, zero, then the trans, three and a quarter, 3.5, 75, 75 forward, hit forward, hit a 400 number, and a quarter, and a half, 75, and a five, and a quarter, and a half, 75, 6, and a quarter, and a half, 75, 7, and a quarter, and a half, 75, 8, and a quarter, and a half, 75, 9, and a quarter, and a half, $75,000, and a quarter, and a half, 1,050, and a 50, 1,050 here, 75, now 11, about 11, you gotta go 11, 11 and a quarter, quarter and a half, I got a half, 11 and a half, you said 11 and a quarter, I got a half on the line now, 75, and 12, how about 12, I'm gonna go 1,200, 12 and a quarter, and a quarter, say, quarter, half, how about a half, each one a quarter, 12 and a half. How about 250, 50, 50, 50, and now so, thanks. For 12, 25, 12, 25. Numbers on the other side. There you go, 92, right? There's a no four, some, that's you mark, wow. Four on the left, to the ground, 30 bucks to the consumer, 30 bucks on the top. I got 3, 10 and a half, and knuckle, and a half, no five. That's 5, and a half, and 6, and a half, and a half, you're 6, 6 and a half, 7, 7, half. I got 7 on the side, 7 and a half, quarter. But 7 and a quarter, quarter, and a half, was 75, now 800, a quarter, quarter, and a half, 75, then 9, a quarter, and then 25, and a half, and a half, and a half, now 75. I got 75, then I have over here. I got 75 line, 1,000, and a quarter, and a quarter, I got 10 here, and a quarter. A quarter, okay, and a half, and 75. How about 75, each 10 and a half, 75, 11. How about 11, 11, 11 and a quarter. How about 11 and a quarter, 11, 2, 11 and a quarter, 11 and a half. 11 and a half, 75, 75, yes sir. And 75, okay, not 12, huh? How about 12 here, 11 and 75 here, 12 on side, not quarter. And a quarter, hey, you can first year up. How about 12 and a quarter, okay, no half. How about a half, 12, 50. And 50, you gotta go 50, 50, 250 now, 75. I do. That's what I was 75. How about 75? We're gonna go 75. Go 75? That's the whole thing. For 12, 50 over here. 193, 193 tomorrow. Under 60. All right, hold on, and then we're gonna say, I got 5 to go, 5 to go, we're gonna go 500. How about 5 of now, 5, 3, 3 and a half. I got 3, 4, 4 and a half, 4 and a half. How about a half, 50, 50, 450, 450, 75. I do. And 475, 500, not 5, 475. Okay. How about 500, 500, not 500, 500, super thing. That's 475, 650, here's 161, 2007. All right, 4,000, 7, here's the how about 500 bucks? How about 500, go 500, 5, 4, 4.5, now 5, and a half, and a half, 1 quarter, now half, now 75. How about 75, now 75, now 7, and 75, we go 75, 75, 6, 1 quarter, and a quarter, 6 and 7. How about 6 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, then here, a quarter, let's move on. So, that's $600 to buy and then 62, 27. What do you say here? And how much, huh? Eight, but five, here, with my dollar, three, take it a quarter, three and a half. But seven, 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 a hundred, 75. But 75 minus 7.5 years, 75, now eight hundred and a quarter. And a quarter, each a bit, eight and a quarter, eight and a half, 875, something. Eight and a half, 875, nine. But nine and a quarter, and 25. He's in the time, and a quarter, and a half, and 75. But 75, we're gonna go 975. And now a thousand, and now a quarter. And now a quarter, things over here. How much in the quarter here, we have a quarter half, I get a half, and a half, down to 50, and one down to 50, and we sum up here for 1,025, and the six divided. Let me see. Hang on a second.
I've got three that I can see. I got 49, 52, and 53. I've got 49, 52, and 53.
53, y'all skipped over.
54 is what we skipped over.
The Subaru?
Number 7.
Nah, the Subaru, I don't know what happened.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, so what do I have?
70 for
70 bucks, 52 and 53. Number 70?
Yeah.
Do I need to change those? That's 70, 70? Yeah. 70? Okay, that's my fault.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, I'm sorry, we're on 62 sold, 1025
Okay, we're good. Here's 63, 2,000. 411, share with 9 here, so we get 9. All right, we gotta go from 3 and a quarter. I got 3 and a quarter, 3.5, you shot there. I got 3 and a quarter, you're right. You're gonna have 75, not 4. How about 4 and here, 4, 7, not quarter. On side at 4, 4 and a quarter. How about 4 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half, and now 75. How about 75, 500 and a quarter? I got 5 in sight, 5 and a quarter. How about 5 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, listen up. How about 5 and a quarter here, and I have quarter half, and a half, and 75. How about 75? 75, pay first, go. 75, 6, and a quarter. How about quarter? 6, 2, and a quarter. How about 6 and a quarter? 6, 25, get it, 25, get it up. How about 6 and a quarter, and 9, 7, $600. I think he's under 70 there. 70. Okay. Here's number 64. Here's an 85. It's not even, let's see, the 30 last time, I don't know. For the start. For the page, whatever that was. Here we go. Let's have a quarter score. I'm gonna get 5, 5 and a quarter. I got 5 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, 5 here, a quarter, and a half. I got a half, and that's a half, and that's 75, and that's 6. How about 6, 600, and a quarter, 625, and a half. How about 650, and a 50, 50, and a go 50, 650. How about 650, 50, and a 50, and a 75, 75, 7. How about 7, 675, 7. How about 7? How about 7? Hey, coach first, wake up. How about 7, we're gonna go 7, we're gonna go 7 here, and on so, okay. 675, number 4, divide, here we go, 65. It's a 79 over, it goes wrong. Hold on, automatic, divide 800. How about 8, 6, 3, I got a quarter, here, 3 and a quarter. I got a half, 400, a quarter. And then a half, 75, now 5, now quarter, now half, and a half. Now a quarter here. 5 and a half, now 75, and 6, how about 6, now a quarter, and a quarter, 6 and a half, now 75, now 7, now a quarter, now a half, and a half, 7 a quarter here. 775 on line, 800, 8 and a quarter. On side at 8, 8 and a quarter. And a quarter here, half, 8 and a half. Yeah, now we're 75. How about in 75? Gotta go 75, 8 and a half here. 8, 75, 75, 75, and I, super thing. At 850 numbers. Now, number 42. And here's number 66. Here comes all right, that's the third one, automatic, second one around here, so let me give you time and I got time to go for you, that's what's up. I got 3 and a half on the pole, 400 over on the 4 and a half. I got 4 over here, 4 and a half. Number 4 and a half, 75 and 5. I got 5 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter and a half and 75. And 75, 6, 600 over and a quarter and a half. And a half, and 75, it was 75, 7, and a quarter and a half. And a half, 75, 800, and a quarter and a half. And a half, 850, 845. Hey, and about 50, 50, and about 50, and about 50, 50, and we saw the time at 825. This is fire here, 67, 525. This is common time. Right, for the hard advantage, for the wrong time. Over here. I didn't go 5, I got 3, 3 and a half. I got 350, 50, and a 4, and a 50, and a 5, and a 50. He's in the 5, 5 and a half, 6 and a half, and 7. But 7, you're gonna go 7, 675, now 7. How about 7? Not 675, 7. How about 7, you're gonna go 7, you're gonna go 7, here, super thing. 675, online, here's number 68, 2013. It's the Sprinter 3500 model, right? That's the third one, out of that, it's about $2,000. $1,000. You ever see that here? No, nothing. 1,000, 5. I got 5. I got 3, 4, 5. I got 5, 6. How about 6? I got 5, 6. How about a half and 6 and another half and 7? How about 7, 6 and a half outside, 7, 75, 7. 7, no quarter. And a quarter, 7, 0, quarter here, a half here, now 75, now 8, now half and 9. And a half, and a 1,000, and a half, and a half. Easy one. And a time of 50,000 in the back row. 1,050, 11, 11, 50. 11, 11 over here. How about 11, 11, 11, how about 11, 40, and that 40, 40, and a half, and 75. How about 75, 75, 12. How about 12, and a quarter. Come on, guys, let's go good, let's just get along. I got 12, 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half. 12 and a half, use 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half. So this is up. Now 75, 13. 13. This is like an old lady. 13, now a quarter, now half. I got half. Now 75, now 14 and a half. Now 15, 15. How about 15 and a half and 16? How about 16? Gonna be 16, now 17. How about 17? Big up, come on, unbelievable. 17 and a half, 18. How about 18 and a half, 19? How about 19? Now half, and 2. How about 2 to go? Somebody else will be stricken. 2 green. How about 2 to go? No half. I got a half on my 1. And 21. 21. 20, 50 right here. How about 21 to another? 21, 21, now half, now 2. 22. It goes. How about 22? Come on. 22. 2 and a half, 3. How about 23? Now half, now 4. How about 24? How about 24? I'm gonna go 4 now, half. 24, 24 and a half high. 25, 25, now half. You sure? 25 and a half, and we're going to, sorry, not side. Yeah, 2,500, 35, there it is. All right, guys, here we go. Finish smoking drop at the same time for headhunters, always catch fire. All right, here we go. You got a bitch? Here, go to the foundation. 5, 3, 2, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half. I got you, 150, 2 and a quarter, here, I do. How about you, 150, 50, 150, 250, now, 75, I'm not 3, $300 down, 3, and a quarter, and a half, 350. Come on, guys, we're gonna have 70 from 4, the 4. How about 4? I do, 1, 4, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half. I got a half, 75, 5. How about 5? 5, 5 and a half, 5 and a half, 6. How about 6? 5 and a half outside, 6, 75, 6, 6, 6, and a quarter. And a quarter, 6, 2, need a quarter, quarter now, half, 6 and a half, now 75. How about 75? We're gonna go 75, 700, and a quarter. How about 7 and a quarter, now a quarter, now half. How about a half? 750. How about a 50, 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, and this over time, 725, number 6 is higher. 70 car, 2016, yeah, hybrid model, right? Thousand. How about time to go? How about time to go?
675.
675, 7, not 40, not high, 75, and eat. How about the, not 40, not high, not 75, you go 75? How about the 75, 900, not 40, not high? How about a half, these are, high, $75,000. And, quarter here, now a half. How about a half, these 10 the quarter outside, 10 and a half over here, and that's 75. How about 75, 10, 75, and, how about 11? 11, not quarter, and a half, and 75, not 12, and a half, and a half, and a half, 13. Come on, guys, let's go. My beer's getting hot. 13 and a half. I got 1275, 13, 13, not quarter. How about a quarter here, you need a quarter and a quarter and a half, 75, and 14, and a quarter, and a half. I got a half, 75, I'm gonna go 75, 20, now 15, now half. How about a half, 50, 50, 16, now half, give me half. How about a half, and then 17, how about 17, I'm gonna go 17, I'm gonna go 17, not 50. And that's 15, I'm gonna go 50, 50, 17, how about 15, and 15, 15, here, we have 18, 18, the old lady jumped in, 17 and a half, 18, how about 18 and a half, way up, return, 18, 15, 18, 15, I'm gonna go 50, 50, 15, and we, summertime, 1800, number 71, okay, hey, behind 75, it runs, sounds tight, pseudo, here, 75, higher quarter, 475, and a hundred, 15, but about 50, 600, not quarter. How about 40, and a hundred, we have 6 and a half, 75, and 7, 6, 75 over here, and need 7. How about 7 and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and eat, and a quarter, and a half, 8 and a half, no 75, and 9. How about 9, not quarter, 9.25? How about 25? 9 back, 9 and a half, 975. 975, say yes or no? 75,000. Down 1,000, yes sir. 975 and 7, guys. How about 1,000? And 1,000, down, I have 7, for 975. That's okay. 146, 146, 146, okay? And he said, oh, horse car. And he kind of let me know about who we were. Hey, you give me about 5 5? No half. Got a half. I got 5 and a quarter. How about 5 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, here, a quarter, no half, no 75. How about 75? I'm gonna have over here, 575. How about 75? I'm gonna go 75, 75, 6, 6, not a quarter. How about quarter, 6 over here, 6 and a quarter, 6 and a half, 75. How about 75? I'm gonna go 675, 75, I'm gonna go 75. I do. How about 75, 70, 75, here's solar plant. 650 left, each, 70, 30, 70, all right, hold this up, no more. Keep up, all right? Okay, another half, 250, 50, 250, no more. How about 250, 75? What about 275? I got 2.5 people. You good? 275, great. How about three? 105. How about three? I'm gonna get three. I'm gonna get 300, 300 here, and I'm short. Okay. 275 on 174. All right, here's a new set. 83. Here, who put a pound down? Five. How about five of the left? Two half. 3 and a quarter. Now, I got a 75, 4 and a quarter. I will 4 and 6, 4 and a quarter. Now, quarter, now half, now 75. How about 75? Now 500, now quarter. And if the time is over here, how about 5 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, quarter, now half, and 75. How about 75? How about half here, 5, 75. How about 75? I'm gonna go 75 here, we have, so, thanks. 75, 6, not quarter. I'll get 6 and a quarter. Yeah, 6 and a quarter. You're 6. Good. He's 6 over here. 6 and a quarter, no, sold here. 600, number 72. 72 is, here's number 75, 13. Why is it? Well, the house, 800. I got 30, I got 40, not 40, not 40, right here, the high, not 75, not 4, and 4, and a quarter, and a half, and a half, and a 42, half here, 75, 500, what? And a half here, 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 75, and 6, and a quarter, and a half, 650, 75, now 7, now a quarter, now a half, and 75, I'm gonna go 7, 75, 800. I'm about to hit another 8, now a quarter. And a quarter now half, we have the 50 and the 75, we're gonna go with 75, 900, now quarter. Quarter, I got 9 here, quarter, so half there, now 75. How about 175, now 1,000. 175, take 1,000 to go, 1,000 to go, 1,000. Sold it, 975, 75, 200, comes to 95, obviously, 75, 42. Maybe the 200, we're gonna have 400 here, 75, 4. About 4, minus 375, 4, good 4. About 4, you're at 400, we sold it, 375, number 75. Three, minus 275, take 3, you gotta go 3, you gotta go 300, 300, 300, and I saw it, 275, number 6, the winner, 18. Well, banks that are right, you go, sorry. Okay. Hang on. Hang on, guys, we got this in here, on shortly.
They're gonna pull it.
We're gonna pull it? Okay. Yes, I'm not, yes, make paperwork. Paperwork, so we'll do that in the future, you know, yeah. Here comes, over here. Yes, sir. Are they ready? 2,1200. Let's see if we got it.
We're at number 79.
First 79, we are. There we go. All right, here it is, 800. Somebody got about 3 and a quarter. A quarter half. I got 350, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a half, 75, and 6. How about 6 pounds, 75, and 6, a quarter, and a half, and 75, and 6, and a quarter, and a quarter half, 7 and a half. How about a half, 75, gonna get 75, 800, and a quarter, 825, 825, I have 8 here. Somebody put a quarter, and a quarter, and a half here, 15, and 75, and 9, and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and 1,000, and a half. How about a half, 11, and a half, and 12, and a half, and 13, and a half. How about a half again? 14 and a half. Give me half, 14 and a half. And now 15 and a half. How about a half? 16, now half. I got 16 over here, 16 and a half. How about 16, how about 15, and 15, and 15 down over here, and I,
Half.
17,
I got half on that.
7 and a half. I got 17 on side check. 17 and a half. 17 and a half. Hey, first, you're up. How about 17, 150, 50, 50, 18. 18, get off. 18, 17 and a half here. 18? Yes, right? So, that's 17 and 50 online, 17 and 50 online. Right, here we go with number 80. What do you do here, man? What do you do? How about 15, time, how about 3, and 4. I got 7, 7 and a quarter, 7 and a half, 75, 8, 9 and a half, now 9, now a half, now a thousand, now a half, 11. And a half, 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19, 2 grand, 21, 21, I got 2 grand over here. How about a half? Okay, now 21, I got 20, 50 up here. How about 21 to 20, 21, so here, at 2050, here we go, number 81, 9, here we go. Right, for our one, should have an idea, we got one. On that one, I got 3 again, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half. I got 175, 175, over 400 and a quarter and a half. I got 175, no five, $500, no five, no half, no 6. How about 6? How about half a side? 6, no half, and 7. How about 7? You're gonna go 7 here and 7. How about 7? You're gonna go 7, 6 and a half here. I need 7, you're gonna go 7, 675, now 7, not quarter. I have 7, 7 and a quarter. How about 7 and a quarter, not quarter here, and 7 and a quarter, 7 and a quarter, here, and a half, here, and a half, so this is 1. See? And 75.
You got half.
I got a half outside. How about 775? 775. 3 is up. 775. Sold in one site at 750. Number 4 divided. Number 4 divided. Guys, thanks for coming out tonight. Make sure you pay your bills, get your fellows out of the yard, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
I get 5, 75, 5.